Hello students. In this video session of DAV Public School CCL Giridih, I Shashwati Mukherjee welcome you all. Today we are going to discuss at first vapor pressure. Yes students, you have studied in standard 11 what is vapor pressure. Again I am recalling it. What is vapor pressure? The pressure exerted by the vapors of liquid at equilibrium. Suppose in a container there is liquid and it is covered with a lid, and if it is evaporating, then at first what will happen? The water molecules will change to vapor. Vaporization will take place, and when these water molecules will get connected, it will start condensing. And after some time, the rate of vaporization or evaporation, you can say, the rate of vaporization will become equal to rate of condensation. This is known as condition of dynamic equilibrium. At this stage, the vapors over the surface of liquid exerts pressure, and that pressure is known as vapor pressure. So again I am telling, what is vapor pressure? Vapor pressure is the pressure exerted by the vapors of liquid at equilibrium. Now, let us take up the topic of solution, that is Raoult's law. In the beginning, I like to discuss the Raoult's law for volatile liquids. For volatile liquids, Raoult's law states that vapor pressure or partial pressure of any component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. What is Raoult's law? Raoult's law states that partial pressure of any component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Now, if we remove this proportionality constant, and if we replace this proportionality constant with equal sign, then we will have to write a constant of proportionality, that is P naught A into its mole fraction. So this, now we can say that for volatile liquids, vapor pressure of any component is the product of vapor pressure, the product of its vapor pressure in pure state into its mole fraction. Again I am explaining what is Raoult's law. Raoult's law states that for a volatile liquid, partial pressure of any component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. So if I want to remove these proportionalities to them, then we will have to multiply with a constant of proportionality. Here the constant of proportionality, what we are writing? We are writing P naught A. What does this P naught A means? This P naught A means vapor pressure in pure state. Vapor pressure of component, in pure state. So, if we take up a binary solution consisting of two components A and B, then for this binary solution, vapor pressure of A in the solution will be equal to P naught A into its mole fraction. And for B, for the component B, its vapor pressure will be also directly proportional to its mole fraction. So for B, it will be equal to P naught B into XB. So students, what will be the total vapor pressure of the solution containing two volatile liquids? The total vapor pressure of the solution containing two volatile liquids will be vapor pressure of component A in the solution and vapor pressure of component B in the solution. So, for volatile liquids, vapor pressure of the solution PS will be equal to PA plus PB. PA plus PB. Now we can write the value of PA and PB. PA will be equal to P naught A into XA plus PB will be equal to P naught B into XB. So PS will be equal to P naught A into XA plus P naught B into XB. Now we know that mole fraction of all the component is equal to 1. So we can write for mole fraction of A, we can write it will be equal to 1 minus mole fraction of B plus we can write for B component we can write P naught B into XB. Again students, you see what I am telling. What is Raoult's law? Raoult's law states that partial pressure of any component is directly proportional to its mole fraction. So here we are writing PA is directly proportional to XA or chi A, you can say. Again PA, for removing this, replacing this directly proportional sign, we can write PA is equal to P naught A into XA. For component B, similarly we are writing PB is directly proportional to XB. So PB will be equal to P naught B into XB. So for total vapor pressure of the solution, we can calculate PS is equal to PA plus PB. Now, what is the value of PA? We are putting over here PA is equal to P naught E into XA and PB is equal to P naught B into XB. Now, for this XA, we are writing 1 minus XB. Why we are writing this? Because we know that mole fraction of A plus mole fraction of B will be equal to 1. So, we are writing here that P naught A into 1 minus XB is equal to P naught B into XB. Now we can write over here P naught A minus P naught A XB plus P naught B XB. So we can write that is equal to P naught A plus XB into P naught B minus P naught A. So I hope you will not have any confusion in deriving this formula. So there are many numericals given in your NCERT book applying this formula. Now if we plot in y-axis vapor pressure, in y-axis if you plot vapor pressure and in x-axis if you plot mole fraction, at this point if you take XA is equal to 1, XB is equal to 0, then it will be vapor pressure of pure A. And here XB is equal to 1 and XA will be equal to 0. So it will be vapor pressure of pure B. Now this vapor pressure of component A and component B will be directly proportional to its mole fraction. Vapor pressure of component A and component B will be directly proportional to its mole fraction. And if we join this, then we will get total vapor pressure. Total vapor pressure of A and B, that will be equal to PA plus PB. So this is about Raoult's law for volatile liquids. Raoult's law for volatile liquids states that vapor pressure of any component in the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. And we have given a graph representing vapor pressure and mole fraction of any component. And from the graph it is clear that vapor pressure of any component in the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Now our next topic is ideal solution. What is the meaning of ideal solution? A solution which obeys Raoult's law under all conditions of temperature and concentration, that is known as ideal solution. So what I am telling? What is the ideal solution? What is an ideal solution? A solution which obeys Raoult's law under all conditions of temperature and concentration is known as ideal solution. Whereas, what is non-ideal solution? If you study non-ideal solution, what is non-ideal solution? A solution which do not obey Raoult's law under all conditions of temperature and pressure, that is known as non-ideal solution. So what is the difference between ideal solution and non-ideal solution? We'll understand in detail. First point is that ideal solution obeys Raoult's law. Obeys Raoult's law. Obeys Raoult's law means partial pressure of any component for ideal solution is product of its partial pressure in vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. So again we can write for B, vapor pressure of any component in the solution is equal to its vapor pressure in pure state into its mole fraction. So again I am telling, whenever you are dealing with the ideal solution, then you will say that first thing is that it obeys Raoult's law. And what is Raoult's law? PA is equal to P naught A into XA and PB is equal to P naught B into XB. Means vapor pressure of any component in the solution is the product of its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. Next, for non-ideal solution, it do not obey Raoult's law. Do not obey Raoult's law means vapor pressure of any component is not equal to its vapor pressure in pure state and mole fraction. Again for PB also we can write PB is not equal to P naught B into XB. So this is the first difference you will have to understand between ideal solution and non-ideal solution. Then we will again discuss here the force of attraction, or you can say rather the force of interaction between the solvent and solute, and the force of interaction when the solvent is mixed with the solute will not change. What I am telling? The force of interaction will not change. There will be no change in the force of interaction. If in the solvent, the force of interaction, you are telling AA, and for solvent, if the force of interaction is BB, then after mixing, force of interaction between A and B will be also equal to AA and BB. What I am telling? The force of interaction will not change when solute is mixed with the solvent. Force of interaction will remain same. Here, what will happen? Force of interaction between solvent and solute may be more than or may be less than the force of interaction in solute and in solvent. So, force of interaction AB is not equal to force of interaction in AA and BB. Here force of interaction in AA and BB, and after mixing we are getting the force of interaction AB will be same. Here the force of interaction AB is not equal to force of interaction in AA and BB. Our next point is as there is no change in the force of interaction. No change in the force of interaction means volume of the solution will not change. Upon mixing the solvent and solute, the volume will not change. So we can write delta V mixing is equal to 0. What I am telling? That on mixing solute with solvent, the volume of the solution will not change. Why, students? Why it will not change? Because the force of interaction is not changing. If the force of interaction increases, the volume will decrease. And if the force of interaction decreases, then volume increases. But here, in this case, what I am telling, we are taking such a solute and such a solvent that after mixing, the force of interaction is not changing. So, volume mixing will not change. So, delta V mixing will be 0. Here, delta V mixing will not be equal to 0. There may be increase in volume, there may be decrease in volume. If the force of interaction will increase, then volume will decrease. And if the force of interaction will decrease, then volume will increase. So, here the volume mixing, delta V mixing is not equal to 0 for non-ideal solution. And for ideal solution, delta V mixing is equal to 0. Next, delta H mixing. We all know that with delta H we represent enthalpy. So, as there is no change in the force of interaction, so there will be no change in the enthalpy. Neither heat will be released nor heat will be absorbed. So, for ideal solution, delta H mixing will be 0. And for non-ideal solution, delta H mixing is not equal to 0. Now, we can take up some examples. If you mix benzene with cyclohexane, or if you mix bromobenzene with iodobenzene, then there will be no change in the force of interaction. So, it will form an ideal solution. And what are the characteristics of ideal solution? Its volume will not change. Upon mixing benzene and cyclohexane or iodobenzene and bromobenzene, there will be no change in the force of interaction. So, delta V mixing will be 0, delta H mixing will be 0. Next, If we take up an example of mixing benzene with ethanol, then definitely there will be change in the force of interaction. Why? Because in ethanol, what is the force of interaction? The force of interaction is hydrogen bonding. Ethanol molecules are bonded together by hydrogen bonding. While in benzene, the force of interaction is or attraction is simple London force or van der Waals force of attraction. So, if we add benzene to ethanol, then some of the hydrogen bonds in between the ethanol molecules will break, and that will result in increase of volume. So, it will not form an ideal solution. It will form a non-ideal solution. So, for ideal solution, we told that delta V mixing 0, delta H mixing 0, and PA is equal to P naught A and PB is equal to P naught B. Types of non-ideal solution. We have discussed that there are two types of solution, one ideal, another non-ideal. Now, types of non-ideal solution. There are two types of non-ideal solution. Non-ideal solution showing positive deviation. Non-ideal solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law. And non-ideal solution showing negative deviation. Non-ideal solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law. What I am telling that non-ideal solution is of two types. One is non-ideal solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law, and another is non-ideal solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law. What is Raoult's law? We all know that for any component, vapor pressure of that component in the solution is equal to its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. But this is applicable to ideal solution. For a non-ideal solution, we have already studied that PA is not equal to P naught A, product of P naught A and XA. So, there are two types of non-ideal solution. One is non-ideal solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law. Another non-ideal solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law. Now, for positive deviation, vapor pressure of any component in the solution will be more than its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. Vapor pressure of any component in the solution will be more than the product of its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. So, for positive deviation, if we take a binary solution A containing two components A and B, so vapor pressure of A, PA will be greater than its vapor pressure, product of its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. Similarly, we can write for PB, PB will be greater than P naught B into its mole fraction. So, the first difference is that for non-ideal solution having showing positive deviation from Raoult's law, vapor pressure of any component will be more than its product of its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. For solution showing negative deviation, what will happen? Vapor pressure of any component will be less than the product of its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. So, what I am telling, non-ideal solution is of two types. non-ideal solution showing positive deviation from Rod's law and non-ideal solution showing negative deviation from Rod's law. A non-ideal solution showing positive deviation from Rod's law, in that case PA will be greater than P naught A into its mole fraction, and PB will be greater than P naught B and its product of P naught B and its mole fraction. But for solution showing negative deviation from Rod's law, the vapor pressure of any component will be lesser than the product of its vapor pressure in pure state and its mole fraction. So this is the first difference you will have to understand. Then gradually we'll discuss some more differences between these two types of non-ideal solution. Here, the force of interaction between solute and solvent molecule will be always less than the force of interaction between the solvent molecules and the solute molecules. Please students, listen carefully what I am telling. That here when you are mixing a solute with a solvent, then the force of interaction between the solvent molecule and solute molecule will be lesser than the force of interaction in solvent or in solute. On mixing solute with the solvent and forming a solution, the force of interaction is decreasing. Here, in this case, Rod's law showing negative deviation, the force of interaction between solvent and solute molecule will increase. Yes, I will explain to you how the force of interaction is increasing when you are mixing a solute with a solvent. In some cases, how the force of interaction is increasing, and in some cases, how the force of interaction is decreasing. Here, the force of interaction when you are mixing solvent with solute, then what will happen? It will increase. It will be more than the force of interaction between the solvent molecules and between the solute molecules. So next difference, what I told, that Rod's law showing positive deviation, for such type of solution, the force of interaction will decrease, and here the force of interaction will increase. Next, if we go to next point, volume part. We all know that if the force of interaction is decreasing, then volume will increase. And if the force of interaction is increasing, then volume will decrease. So all of you can easily judge and say that here the volume mixing will be more than 0. Upon mixing solute with solvent, then volume will increase. Here volume will decrease. So here what will happen? Delta V mixing will be greater than 0. So here delta V mixing will be greater than 0. We can say that delta V mixing will be positive, and here delta V mixing will be negative, that is less than 0. Next, enthalpy of mixing. Enthalpy change. Here upon mix a solution when formed, if a solution is formed in which the force of interaction after mixing decreases, then here enthalpy mixing will be also positive. You can say that is greater than 0, that will be also positive. And here delta H mixing will be less than 0, that is negative. We all know that if there will be increase in the force of attraction, then what will happen? Heat will be released, and in that case what? Enthalpy change will be negative. And if the force of attraction decreases, then what will happen? Enthalpy change will be positive. So what we are discussing? We are discussing types of non-ideal solution. A non-ideal solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law, and non-ideal solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law. Let us recap it. Here for solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law, the force of attraction decreases upon mixing a solute with a solvent. So let us take up an example to understand this. If you mix ethanol with water, or if you mix benzene with ethanol, or if you mix cyclohexane with ethanol, then what will happen? The force of interaction or the force of attraction will decrease. How it will decrease? Because in ethanol, the force of attraction is hydrogen bonding. But in cyclohexane, what is the force of attraction? That is van der Waals force of attraction. So, if you will mix cyclohexane with ethanol, then some of the hydrogen bonds will break and volume will increase and force of interaction will decrease. Next, let us take up an example for a solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law. Suppose we are mixing chloroform with acetone. Suppose we are mixing chloroform with acetone. Suppose we are mixing chloroform with acetone. Then in acetone, what is the force of attraction? That is dipole-dipole. What is the force of attraction? That is dipole-dipole. Now, if we add chloroform to it, chloroform, what is the formula of chloroform? CHCl3. Then, chloroform will form hydrogen bond with acetone. So, here the force of attraction will increase. So, the volume will decrease. For non-ideal solution, what I am telling, that force of attraction increases when we mix solute with a solvent. I have taken up an example of acetone and chloroform. When we mix chloroform with acetone, what happens? The force of attraction increases. How it is increasing? In chloroform, there is a hydrogen which forms hydrogen bond with the oxygen atom of the acetone. So, the force of attraction increases, so the volume will decrease. Now, if you want to explain this positive deviation and negative deviation graphically, then you can simply show like this. XA is equal to 1, XB is equal to 0 if you are taking vapor pressure this side, and if you are taking mole fraction this side. In y-axis you are taking vapor pressure, and in x-axis you are taking You are taking mole fraction. Then for Raoult's law we know that the graph will be like this. P naught A and P naught B we have learnt, and this will be like this. PA plus PB will be like this. Now for a solution showing positive deviation, how you will show the graph? Here there will be increase in the vapor pressure, so you will show it like this way. So it is a very simple representation of positive deviation of a solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law. You are taking the typical graph of Raoult's law, and for positive deviation what you are doing, you are putting a curve over it. This is for a solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law. Now students, how we will represent graphically for a solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law? How you will represent graphically for a solution showing negative deviation from Raoult's law? Similarly, you will take in y-axis vapor pressure, in x-axis you will take mole fraction. Here you will write xa is equal to 1 and xb is equal to 0. Here again you will be writing xb is equal to 1 and xa is equal to 0. Now for Raoult's law, how you are drawing? Like this you will draw over here also. P naught A and P naught B. And you will join over here to form PA plus PB. But here the solution is showing negative deviation. So the vapor pressure of component is lesser than the vapor pressure as expected by Raoult's law. So what you will do, you will draw like this the curve. So PA plus PB. For PA plus PB you will draw like this, and for PA and PB you will draw like this. So graphically you can represent Raoult's law like this, and for Raoult's law showing positive deviation you can represent it like this way. Why you are representing it like this way? Because a solution showing positive deviation from Raoult's law, in this case vapor pressure of any component is more than its vapor pressure as formulated by Raoult's law. So that's all for ideal and non-ideal solution. Next we'll explain azeotrophs. Next.